Okay, now I am recording as well.
So recording.
Yep. Official terms would be camera speed and audio speed.
Hopefully Godspeed, right? Anyway, okay.
Godspeed.
I want you to introduce yourself as such. My name is Matthew Treater.
Treater. Like a treat.
Like a treat?
Yeah.
You're a BYU Idaho student, and you can play a Thank Thee, O God, for a Prophet with one right hand. Your right one.
Okay. My name is Matthew Treater. I'm a BYU Idaho student, and I can play We Thank Thee, O God, for a Prophet with one hand as the melody.
What do you like about BYU Idaho?
I like a lot of things about the school. I especially like the people that go here. Just that there's a lot of really nice people, and it's easier here to talk on more of an in-depth level, talk about spiritual things because of our shared values and just the knowledge of the scriptures that we share. And I feel like it's just a lot easier to make friends here and to develop close relationships. So I really like that. And I like just the spiritual environment in general and just how kind and how friendly everybody is.
Help me understand, what do you mean by BYU Idaho being a spiritual environment?
Okay. So, well, obviously, you have to meet certain standards to come here, and excuse me, cut that out. You have to meet certain standards to come here, and if you're living those standards, you probably have an appreciation for the commandments and for the gospel, I think. So it's easier to talk about those things with people. And also, there's just a lot of things that are so different here that you wouldn't find at other universities or that I never had growing up in school. Like being able to pray in class and just to bring up spiritual topics and devotionals and religion classes. I mean, there's Institute, but that's a little different. You have a lot more stuff like that here. Yeah, I just it's a very open environment for spiritual discussion, and I appreciate that a lot.
Have you learned anything valuable from going to the devotionals?
Yeah. I don't know if there's anything specific that comes to mind, but I know that I've had answers to prayers through devotionals many times, and that's one of the main things, I think. In fact, to me, that's one of the main reasons I even go to church or anything. It's because I know that I can get those answers, even despite imperfections of speakers.
Why did you come here to BYU Idaho?
Well, that's a good question. For me, I think I always wanted to come to BYU. I don't know, it's a really good environment to be in with. It's a lot easier to keep your standards here, and I think, for me, it's much more comfortable being here than in other schools. At least I suppose. I mean, I've never been to another college, but it's nice knowing that your standards are going to be supported and that you can be in a spiritually uplifting environment, and I wanted to be in a place where I could keep the Spirit with me and where it was easy to connect, and where like I think in high school for me it was hard to figure out how to express things to people, to teachers, to students, to express what I believed, to express what I really thought. And what I find here is that there's a lot of freedom to express exactly what I think, for the most part, not everything, but and that's nice. That's really a lot more comfortable, and I think I was looking forward to that. I don't remember all the reasons. I just thought it would be cool to be here, or at a BYU student school. Just that it would be very spiritually uplifting. I used to really like going to EFY and different youth conferences, and so that was something I just thought I would really enjoy and appreciate.
We'll save that for the end. But I think I'm going to ask you one last question. What are your thoughts and feelings about the honor code here at BYUI?
So, the honor code, let's see here. It's important that we have an honor code, I think, because that's what makes BYU Idaho what it is. So you have to commit to certain standards when you come here. And, not everyone's going to be able to keep up with those standards. So the rules are to help you to live those standards for the most part. I don't understand all the reasons for all the different rules. And I don't know that I have a strong opinion on whether there's a rule that really shouldn't be there. I don't know that I can say that. I'm sure there's been a lot of prayer and thought that's gone into the rules, and that they've been carefully considered before being created. And so I think there's probably a good reason for just about every rule that we have, and that we shouldn't assume that a rule is bad because we don't understand it. That's silly, I think. And I'm not saying there's no exceptions to rules, because I think there are, especially if it's a minor rule, but but there's a lot of common sense to the rules, especially like for example, it's just good policy not to be out past midnight with your girlfriend. I think that's just good policy, whether or not it's a BYU Idaho rule. So to me, that's just being smart. And so I think there's good reasons for a lot of the rules, or all of the rules probably.
I lied to you. That's not the last question. This will be the last question.
Okay.
Frustrations. What are some things you find frustrating about BYU Idaho?
There are some definite frustrations, although there's a lot of things that are good. So I feel a little bad being frustrated about anything, because there's just so much to be grateful for. But at the same time, there's definitely there's a huge focus on marriage here that's, in my opinion, a little over the top, and it's understandable, that you want to be married, you want to have that kind of a intimate, close, relationship, that physical and emotional intimacy, And I think everybody wants that, or most people at least want that in their life. And it's great that at BYU Idaho we go about that properly, where we are looking for marriage, whereas at other schools they probably would just be looking to sleep around most of the time, or to just do it with their girlfriend. Maybe they are looking to be married, but I mean, a lot of it, they don't have the same standard. So I think it's just a very human thing. I think that's normal for this age group. We just go about it differently. But at the same time, it's frustrating when 8 out of 10 times the conversations you hear are about dating and marriage, or some girl that you like, or something, and I just hear that all the time, and I get tired of it because it's like there's more to life than dating and marriage. And I mean, there's so many things that are of value that you could talk about. I mean, why aren't we talking about spiritual stuff? It's BYU Idaho. We can. It's probably one of the only chances in life that we have to talk about that with everybody around us. I mean, not everybody, but to have this level of openness with our environment, with the people around us. And so, I don't know, I think there's a lot that, some balance that we could achieve with that. And also, I think for me, I have some of my own very deeply held opinions on things, on doctrines, on how I understand the gospel, or how I understand